Okay, so we are going to install the SolarWinds agent. First thing you want to start out with is by copying over the SolarWinds agent installer that I have created here onto the server. That's the best place to start out. We're going to install this on the server, lanes, and back office PCs. So once you have it here on the desktop of the server, you can double click it and run it. It's going to ask you to verify that the PC name is correct. Make sure that everything looks right. The reason for that is because on the first run of this, we had a lot of PCs reporting back that didn't have the correct names in place, and we had to go back and rename some PCs. So I wanted to skip that extra work here by going and checking this and fixing it up right away. So if everything looks okay, you continue. If you have to rename it, close out of here with the X, go and rename the PC, reboot it, run the executable again to go through this process again. So here everything looks okay, so we're going to hit any key to continue. So this is an amendment I made to the software after I had produced the video for this training session. I realized that I could actually set something up to ping agt.semanage.com and get a response back and then let you know whether it's been whitelisted on the MD Tech side or if it hasn't been whitelisted on the MD Tech side. So this will save you the trouble of going through and trying to install some things to find out that it's probably not going to work until you have the MD Tech stuff opened up. So anyway, this will only take effect on the point of sale VLAN. If it has a 102 IP address or a 102 octet, I should say, in the IP address, it skips this step. So basically, you can see here that it will tell you, hey, congratulations, that it's whitelisted. It can hit the site it needs to go to, so you'll be okay. And then if you get this error, it's basically going to tell you that there's no response. So the install probably isn't going to work until it's whitelisted, or that web address is whitelisted on MVT's side. And then once you press any key to continue, the installation will stop and exit out. So this is just kind of like a little thing I'd put in there to let you know whether everything is set up properly on the MD Tech site before you proceed. The first thing we're going to do is select option 1 to download and install SolarWinds client to the server. This is going to go out to the MD Tech FTP site, pull down the executables and the configuration files it created, and it's going to place them in the temp directory of the user you're logged in as. So if you need to get to those files for some reason, you can go to run, type in %temp%, hit OK, and you have a bunch of SWRA files here. Those are the files that are being used to install this. So we're going to go ahead and close that out. We can press any key to continue. It's going to go ahead and install the agent. Now this one ran a little bit quicker than it normally would because it's already installed and I'm just rerunning it over top of the installation. So it will definitely be a little bit longer than this. But if it runs successfully, you're going to see it's going to show up with 2 services that are showing the state of running. If for some reason they come up saying pending or stopped, you can always go down here and retest the services. If you get any kind of error messages, go ahead and click through those, and we'll go through this in a troubleshooting section that I'm going to make up here in a little bit. You can click through the process or click through everything, and it'll try to install an executable version of this agent. Basically what it's running here is it's running an MSI installer, and if that fails or bombs out, it will try to run an executable installer. And like I said, I'll get into that later on. But you can see the agents here running. So once that's complete and you know that that's good, you can go into either retest the services, like I said, if they're sitting in a pending or a stop state, or you can return to the main menu. We're going to return to the main menu. Now it's installed on the server. Now the second thing we're going to want to do is push the client to the lanes. So we can hit 2. This works the same as most of my other installs. You're going to look at the ARP table, decide how many PCs you want to push it to, use the last octet, and how many and the number of PCs you want to push it to. So for this example, we're just going to push it to one computer. So we're going to use lane 15. So we're going to use .45. We only want to push it to 1, so we're going to push to 1. It copied it out already to lane 15, and you'll get a file copy report. It'll tell you what IPs it copied it to and what IPs it skipped. Oh, I must have pushed in the wrong number, so that's why it skipped 0 or .0. So let's do this again. Push out to the lanes. We're going to do 45 and then 1. There we go. It's copying out to. Okay, so there we go. There's the copy report. It copied to the following IPs .45, and there's no skipped, so we're good. So press any key. All right, so now what we're going to do is, as you can see, lane 15, the point of sale is running. So we want to kill the lane software. This will run an executable that is in the temp directory called killpos.exe, and this will auto detect if it's a Rourke v7 store, a Rourke v6 store, a VIPOS store, and it'll select the correct procedure to kill the lanes. So we're going to go to kill lane software 3. It's going to give you the ARP table again. We want to kill just lane 45, which is lane 15. And then just 1. And be careful with this, because if you do them all at one shot, you can take the whole store down in a matter of seconds. And if the store is live, you don't want to do that. So hit OK. It'll go through. It'll give you a report of the IPs that were terminated and the ones that are skipped. You can see that lane 15 now, everything has stopped on it. It kills Chrome, it kills the v7 services, it kills everything. During the installation of this, you may get a thing from Systernals, I think it is, that says, do you want to accept the license agreement? Just hit yes. The reason for that is because it's using this psexec.exe to kill the processes for v7. So if you get that the first time, you just have to hit accept, and it'll never prompt you for that again. So alright, so what we want to do here is press any key to continue. Now what we can do is go out to the lane, and if you look closely to it, to the desktop, you'll have 3 files that are SWRA. So it copied out an executable, an MSI, and the install file. It tries to install the MSI by default. If it runs into any errors, I've came across permission errors and so on, where it will not install, so they'll bomb out. You can just click through the prompts, and then it'll try to install the executable version, and most of the time that fixes the issue. So we're going to go ahead and run this, verify the terminal name, press any key to continue. It's going to install. Okay, the services came back as running. Now with the lane, you can have the options to retest the services. You can hit an R if for some reason the services come back as anything other than running. It will cycle through again and try to retest them. Once it retests them, you can go ahead and hit C to complete the installation, and it will reboot the lane, so that way you don't have to do anything else. So hit C, enter. It's going to do a countdown there for 20 seconds, and it will reboot the lane when this gets to 0. So that will reboot the lane, and it will also clean up those 3 files on the desktop. So once you get all your lanes finished, you can go back here, and then you can hit number 5, exit and clean up. This will pause for a second so that it terminates any running stuff that's attached to this file, and then it will delete it off the desktop for you. So that is the lanes and the ISP. Now if we want to go to the back office PC, we can, let's click over here to the Rourke. Now we're on a back office PC, so what we want to do is take that agent and paste it over here. We want to go ahead and run that. Once again, verify the computer name. Everything looks good there. Press any key to continue. It's going to download the files from the FTP site out at that MD Tech. Once that's done, they go back to the temp directory, any key to continue. It will go ahead and install the SolarWinds agent on the back office, make sure everything's running. You can either retest the services again or hit C to complete the installation, and it does detect that this is a back office PC, so it will not reboot it. So you can just complete the install, and then it will exit out of here and delete the file from the desktop. So here is a troubleshooting part of the installation. This is most likely the main thing you're going to get hung up on, and this PC happens to do it. Okay, so this PC will give us an error. So I got to copy the agent over to the desktop. And most of the time this only happens on servers or back office PCs, not really lanes too much, but it does happen. So what you're going to do is we're going to start out by installing it. Verify the computer name. We want to go ahead and download and install this client. Files have been downloaded. Okay, so this one is going to install fresh, and it is going to time out on us. If it times out after about 90 seconds, that's when it tries to move on. So you can see that up here that it's installing it, and it could take up to 90 seconds. If the MSI installer fails, close the error on the screen and let the batch job run and follow the prompts. So we'll let this run to timeout. Okay, so notice that we got a little bit of a different error here. What this is going to say is that the MSI basically failed installing, and the services didn't start within 90 seconds. So it's going to try to install via the SWRA executable. You want to follow the prompts on here when this comes up, and this will try to install a different way. Like I said, I have seen times where there's certain permissions that the MSI doesn't install, and this will go ahead and fix it. But this one is going to have a different error where we're going to have to go into the services and change the permissions on those. And it's rare that it happens, but it happens. So what we're going to do is, first thing, we're not going to worry about that. We're going to try to go ahead and install this. And this is going to install the executable version. And you'll notice that you get this error starting service, manage agent. So if you go back and look at this, what you can do is hit the Windows R key on your keyboard. So you can either go to run, or you can hit Win R. And then you want to type in services MSC. And hit enter. And your services window will come up. You want to scroll down here and look for the SolarWinds Discovery Agents. There's 2 services there. First thing you can try to do is right click and hit start. That one started. It's this one that's going to be an issue. Right click on it, hit start. You're going to get it couldn't start on the local computer. So what you have to do in here, and like I said, this is very rare from what I saw, is you have to go and change the logon and just change this to an admin account of the PC. So either Rourke or PWCC admin, depending on where you're installing it. So go ahead and put the credentials in, hit apply, okay, and then try to start it there. And the service successfully started. So you can close out of here, open this up, close out of the errors. Meanwhile, this prompt is continuously trying to ping those services to see if they started. Then you can hit finish, and you'll notice that it now sees that the services are running, and you can go back and return to the main menu, or you can retest the services. We'll just do a retest to make sure everything's good. It's going to retest them. And everything looks like it's running, so we can return to the main menu, and then you can continue on. So that's pretty much the troubleshooting of this. Okay, one other thing. In the prereqs document that I will send out, you'll notice that there's uh, URL and a port that has to be whitelisted. If you're having trouble and the services are started, but it can't, you're getting some kind of error message that it's not connecting, or when you get into SolarWinds, you're seeing it's not reporting back. What you have to do is you want to follow this URL, and if you get this error message, that means that it is getting out to the it is getting out to the website, and MD Tech has everything whitelisted. If you don't get out and it says like a 404 not found or can't connect or some other error, then MD Tech is going to have to be contacted because this isn't making a connection to where it needs to. So that is that there. So we can close out of that. Okay, so that's pretty much the install. If you have any trouble while you're installing it, you can always contact me, give me a call, email, whatever, and we'll help get through it. But that should be pretty much it. I'm going to send out a basic document that has a little bit of tips in it and stuff like that on getting started, so you don't have to refer back to this video. But also, I'm going to do another video on how to go into SolarWinds and then assign the clients to stores, delete them, check them, clean them up, all that good stuff. So, all right, like I said, any questions, give me a call.